Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are taking a look at a Disney documentary as we take a look at The Boys, the Sherman Brothers Story. And stay tuned for our bonus story as we take a look at Magic Journeys, the 3D film. And if you are enjoying these videos, I do ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new episode. Now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we're covering The Boys, the Sherman Brothers Story. This movie was released on April 24th, 2009, and it was directed by Gregory V. Sherman and Jeffrey C. Sherman. The production companies were Walt Disney Pictures and Red House Films, and it was distributed by Walt Disney Pictures. I could not find a budget for this movie, but it did a box office of $55,513. So there is no cast. There was really not any production history for this one. In terms of the film deals with the professional and personal lives of Richard and Robert Sherman. It covers their professional growth and estrangement of the Academy Award-winning music composers through the years that are best known for composing many of the Disney songs. This movie features interviews from celebrities such as Julie Andrews, Dick Van Dyke, Ben Stiller, as well as musical composers John Williams and Alan Menken. In terms of the release, the film was released at the 2009 San Francisco Film Festival and the Newport Beach Film Festival. It did have a limited theatrical run in 3 theaters, in the Metreon in San Francisco, Landmark Sunshine Cinema in New York, and the Landmark Regent Theater in Los Angeles, before being released on DVD. Disney fans were also shown an advanced copy of the documentary during the first D23 Expo in 2009. In terms of recommending this film, I think this is a great documentary for Disney fans, as it gives a really behind-the-scenes look of the Disney company during the formative years, as well as it shows the professional history of the Sherman Brothers. And while they had this upfront approach that everything was good, there was a lot of turmoil going on behind the scenes. So it's a great, interesting look. I definitely recommend this one. Like I said, the film is fair because it does go over the successes as well as it goes over some of the not so great moments of the Sherman Brothers. So as we move on to our bonus story for the week, that is Magic Journeys. This was a 3D film created by WED Enterprises for the Disney theme park. It would be featured at 4 different parks over its 11-year run. In terms of the history of the film, on October 1st, 1982, Magic Journeys premiered at Epcot in the Imagination Pavilion. The film was written and directed by Maury Lerner and would feature a pre-show and film song written by the Sherman Brothers. The pre-show song, Making Memories, was featured before the show in the Epcot version. On June 6, 1984, the show would also play in Disneyland for 2 years, and it was originally played at the outdoor space stage before being moved to the newly created Magic Eye Theater in Tomorrowland. It would play there until being replaced by Captain EO. In December of 1987, the film would return to Walt Disney World and play in the Magic Kingdom at the Fantasyland Theater, and this time the film would be paired with a Donald Duck short called Working for Peanuts, and this would last for another 6 years before being replaced by the Festival of the Lion King. The film also made its way to Tokyo Disneyland for a 2-year run as well. In terms of the movie itself, I'll go over briefly of it. I'm not going to do every single moment of it. It is more of a visual film, so kind of me describing it is not going to really do it justice. But the film is a look through the eyes of a child, and the film starts with children running through a meadow while looking at some clouds. One of the children would blow on a dandelion, and the seeds would blow away into the audience, creating that 3D effect. We would transition to stars and the sun before another transition to kids flying a kite on a beach. The kite would turn into several things, including a bird, school of fish, and Pegasus, before the final transition of a merry-go-round. This would transition into a spinning carousel before we transition to moon and bats flying in between the riders. The moon then becomes a witch, a mask, an Olmec head, and then finally a cat. And then we transition to our final scene, which is in the circus, where performers are flying above the audience's heads. Several clowns then appear to amuse the children before transitioning to realize that a circus is the miniature. The kids then transition to a room full of balloons where they meet a magician and where the kids finally return to the field of dandelions. So I never actually saw this show. It closed before it was able to make it to Walt Disney World, but I do have the song "Making Memories" on my playlist of Disney songs. I think it's really good, and definitely I think it's one of those ones that was primitive technology, 3D technology, but it was a great kind of way for guests to get a little break out of the sun in Disney World as well as Disneyland. So definitely it's one of those ones that I've long forgotten, but it will be missed. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would love for anyone to please leave a comment on what they think of The Boys, the Sherman Brothers Story, as well as if you had a chance to see Magic Journeys, I would love for you to leave a comment on what you thought of the film. So as we're looking forward to our next episode, we're going to be taking a look at our X-Men series as we take a look at X-Men Origins Wolverine. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.